Butchers of Arizona.
Hey, what's up? Serpentine19 here, taking a look at the turn-based RPG Wasteland 2, developed by InXile Entertainment. Take control of a squad of rangers as you try to keep the towns in the surrounding area under control and free of the many hazards in the post-apocalyptic Wasteland. Wasteland 2 is a kickback to the role-playing games of old, with the gameplay being a mixture of exploration of your environment and fighting enemies in turn-based combat. The exploration element of the game has you scouting out your environment for loot crates, safes, mines, etc, etc. Due to the extreme limitation of ammunition and weapons in the game, exploring your environment is almost a requirement in being successful while in combat. A good amount of the story quests will also have you going around the map to collect important items or to meet important people. Your squad's abilities will allow you to interact with different elements of the environment, such as lockpicking for locked doors and demolition to defuse mines. Wasteland 2 also has you working through interesting logic puzzles, including things like working your way through a maze while one of your squad members opens and closes doors without exceeding a power limit. When you eventually do get spotted by an enemy, the game turns into a strategic turn-based mode. Each character has a certain amount of action points to use each turn, and apart from your character's class-specific abilities, you can also crouch for better accuracy and evasion percentages, ambush to fire on an oncoming target, switch weapon, and reload your weapon. Characters can also take cover behind objects and use high ground to their advantage. Different specialized characters will have certain distances at which their weapons work best, so pre-positioning your squad before initiating the fight is a strong recommendation. It's inevitable that one or more of your squad members will get hit and downed eventually, but don't worry, as long as they didn't get instantly KO'd, you can have a fellow squad member with the surgeon ability pick them back up for a little bit of their original health. Outside of the combat and exploration is the world map, where you have to manually travel to different towns or objectives. There is no quick travel, mainly due to the water and radiation mechanics available. While moving around the world map, you will consume water that, if not replenished at oases that can be found around the map, will lead to your squad taking small amounts of damage over time. As for the radiation, there are certain areas that contain radiation clouds, and while inside such an area without a rad suit, your squad will also take small amounts of damage over time. The art style in Wasteland 2 leans closer to the realistic side of things rather than the stylistic, and has a very broken down and gritty feel to it, as is the setting. The landscapes at times can be truly beautiful. The characters, however, are lacking detail, but due to the camera angle, this is barely a problem. And with the character customization, you can make characters easily distinguishable from each other, even from the top-down perspective. Voice acting in the game is reserved for the main important plot points, with the rest of the dialogue being text-based. And if you don't read a majority of the dialogue, some of the story may be missed. There are some recording issues with sound levels and some voices that are speaking over the radio while the character is obviously standing in front of you. But for the most part, it's pretty well done, with individual characters' personalities showing through. The atmospheric soundtrack provides a nice addition to the world's setting, creating an abandoned and slightly wild western atmosphere. As with most RPGs, you'll be customizing your squad members' stats, unless of course you take one of the pre-made characters. Your customization choices lie with attributes, things like strength and intelligence, general skills, which include outdoorsman and barter, knowledge skills, which include surgeon and demolition, weapon proficiencies, which cover all weapons from blunt weapons to plasma guns, and finally, you can also customize your character name, gender, and their look to a certain degree. One of the more interesting features of the game, and story in particular, is the availability of choice. Straight from the get-go, you were given a choice of helping one of two towns. While I was helping the first town, I was getting continuous updates of the other town's situation over the radio, and how it was spiraling out of control.
This is Kathy Lawson. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Kathy. I'm reading you loud and clear.
Please, Vargas. I'm sorry I shouted at you. please send somebody. Matt is dying, and there's no more ammo, and I
It's got nothing to do with you shouting, Kathy. There's just nobody to send. My crew are dealing with the crisis in High Pool as quick as they can. If you can just hold on a little while longer.
How long is a little while? Shit! They're coming in again! Shoot them!
Kathy? Kathy, are you there?
By the time I managed to get to the other town, things were already out of hand, and a deadly plant and insect mutation had started spreading to other towns. This level of game design made me watchful of future decisions and could definitely warrant a future replay of the game. Wasteland 2 is a true to its roots in-depth RPG that even on its easiest difficulty will provide a hefty challenge. Branching storylines, character skills, and the strategic combat all add together for a great game. However, saying that, Wasteland 2 is definitely a game more suited towards the more hardcore gaming crowd, and might be a little overwhelming for a more casual crowd. Well, that's been my player preview for Wasteland 2. The game will be releasing on the 19th of September for PC, Mac, and Linux systems. Check out the links below if you're interested. Let me know what you think of the game, and I'll see you guys next time.